everybody. I have a long story to read for you today. It's called Mike Mulligan and the Steam Shovel, and the stories and pictures were made by Virginia Lee Burton. And this story has been around a long time, 81 years. That's longer than your grandma and grandpa have even been here on Earth. They probably read it when they were kids. So again, Mike Mulligan and the Steam Shovel. And there are the end pages. They kind of point out the pieces of that steam shovel. Point out the parts. Getting to the first page, almost there. Now this is a book with a lot of words and I don't know them all, so I'll have to kind of turn the book back and forth. Mike Mulligan had a steam shovel, a beautiful red steam shovel. Her name was Mary Ann. Mike Mulligan was very proud of Mary Ann. He always said that she could dig as much in a day as 100 men could dig in a week. But he'd never been quite sure that this was true. Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann had been digging together for years and years. Mike Mulligan took such good care of Mary Ann, she never grew old. It was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who dug the great canals for the big boats to sail through. It was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who cut through the high mountains so that trains could go through. Ooh, she helped make the tunnels for the trains. It was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who lowered the hills and straightened the curves to make the long highways for the automobiles. Whoa, she helped make all the roads across our country. It was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who smoothed out the ground and filled in the holes to make the landing fields for the airplanes. Oh, she helped make the airports. And it was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who dug the deep holes for the cellars of the tall skyscrapers in the big cities. When people used to stop and watch them, Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann used to dig a little faster and a little better. The faster and better they dug, the more people stopped, the faster and better they dug. Some days they would keep as many as 37 trucks busy taking away all the dirt they had dug. Wow, they could keep 37 dump trucks busy hauling away their dirt. Look at all the people watching them dig that big hole for a tall building. Whoa. Then along came the new gasoline shovels and the new electric shovels and the new diesel motor shovels, and they took all the jobs away from the steam shovels. Oh, Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann were very sad. On this wall it says, no steam shovels wanted. They only wanted to use the big, strong, powerful, fast shovels. Sad. All the other steam shovels were being sold for junk or left out in old gravel pits to rust and fall apart. Mike loved Mary Ann. He couldn't do that to her. See all the old ones down here? He had taken such good care of her that she could still dig as much in a day as 100 men could dig in a week. At least he thought she could, but he wasn't quite sure. Everywhere they went, the new gas shovels and the new electric shovels and the new diesel motor shovels had all the jobs. No one wanted Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann anymore. Then, one day, Mike read in a newspaper that the town of Popperville was going to build a new town hall. We're going to dig the cellar of that town hall, said Mike to Mary Ann, and off they started. There's Mike reading the newspaper and telling Mary Ann. So they left the canals and the railways and the highways and the airports and the big cities where no one wanted them anymore, and they went way out into the country. They crawled along slowly, up the hills and down the hills, till they came to the little town of Popperville. There it is. There's Marianne. When they got there, they found that the selectmen were just deciding who should dig the cellar for the new town hall. Mike Mulligan spoke to Henry B. Swap, and one of the selectmen. "I heard," he said, "that you were going to build a new town hall. Marianne and I will dig the cellar for you in just one day." "What?" said Henry B. Swap. "Dig a cellar in one day? That would take 100 men at least a week to dig the cellar for the new town hall." "Sure," said Mike, "but Marianne can dig as much in a day as 100 men can dig in a week," though he'd never been quite sure this was true. Then he added, "If we can't do it, you won't have to pay." Henry B. Swap thought that this would be an easy way to get part of the cellar dug for nothing, so he smiled in rather a mean way, and he gave the job of digging the cellar of the new town hall to Mike Mulligan and Marianne. They started early in the morning, just as the sun was coming up. "Do you think you'll finish by sundown?" he said to Mike Mulligan. Soon a little boy came along. "Do you think you'll finish by sundown?" he said to Mike Mulligan. "Sure," said Mike. "If you stay and watch us, we always work faster and better when someone's watching us." So the little boy stayed to watch. I'm going to dig the hole right here. Then Mrs. McGillicuddy, Henry B. Swap, and the town constable came over to see what was happening, and they stopped to watch. There they are. The constable is like a police officer. Mike Mulligan and Marianne dug a little faster and a little better. This gave the little boy a good idea. He ran off and told the postman with the morning mail, the telegraph boy on his bicycle, the milkman with his cart and horse, the doctor on his way home, and the farmer and his family coming into town for the day, and they all stopped and stayed to watch. That made Mike Mulligan and Marianne dig a little bit faster and a little better. They finished the first corner, neat and square. There it is. But the sun was getting higher. Getting later in the day. Clang, clang, clang. The fire department arrived. Whoa, look at that old fire truck. It doesn't even have an engine. The horses pull it. They had seen the smoke and thought there was a fire. They saw that smoke. They came to see what was going on. Then the little boy said, "Why don't you stay and watch?" So the fire department of Popperville stayed to watch Mike Mulligan and Marianne. When they heard the fire engine, the children in the school across the street couldn't keep their eyes on their lessons. The teacher called a long recess, and the whole school came out to watch. There are the children coming out of the school. That made Mike Mulligan and Marianne dig still faster and still better. They finished the second corner neat and square. So there's the first corner, and here's the second corner. But the sun was right up in the top of the sky. Ooh, it's the middle of the day already. Now, the girl who answers the telephone called up the next towns of Bangerville and Bopperville and Nipperville and Kipperville and Copperville, and told them what was happening in Popperville. All the people came over to see if Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel could dig the cellar in just one day. The more people came, the faster Mike Mulligan and Marianne dug, but they would have to hurry. They were only halfway through, and the sun was beginning to go down. They finished the third corner, neat and square. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're getting closer, but it's starting to get dark. we're getting later in the day. Never had Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann had so many people to watch them. Never had they dug so fast and so well. And never had the sun seemed to go down so fast. "Hurry, Mike Mulligan, hurry, hurry," shouted the little boy. "There's not much more time." Dirt was flying everywhere, and the smoke and steam were so thick that the people could hardly see anything but listen. Bing, bang, crash, slam, louder and louder, faster and faster. Then, suddenly, it was quiet. Slowly, the dirt settled down, the steam and smoke cleared away, and there was the cellar all finished. Whoa! 4 corners neat and square, 4 walls straight down, and Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann at the bottom, and the sun was just going down behind the hill. "Hooray!" shouted the people. "Hooray for Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel! They have dug the cellar in just one day." Suddenly the little boy said, "How are they gonna get out?" Oh dear. "That's right," said Mrs. McGillicuddy to Henry B. Swap. "How is he going to get his steam shovel out?" Henry B. Swap didn't answer, but he smiled in rather a mean way. Then everybody said, "How are you going to get out? Hi, Mike Mulligan. How are you going to get your steam shovel out?" Mike Mulligan looked around at the 4 square walls and the 4 square corners, and he said, "We've dug so fast and we've dug so well that we've quite forgotten to leave a way out." Nothing like this had ever happened to Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann before, and they didn't know what to do. Nothing like this had ever happened in Popperville. Everybody started talking at once, and everybody had a different idea, and everybody thought that his idea was the best. They talked and they argued and they fought till they were worn out, and still no one knew how Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann could get out of the cellar they had dug. Then Henry B. Swap said, "This job isn't finished. Mary Ann isn't out of the cellar, so Mike Mulligan won't get paid." And he smiled again in rather a mean way. I don't think I like him. Now, the little boy, who'd been keeping very quiet, had another good idea. He said, why couldn't we leave Mary Ann in the cellar and build the new town hall around her? Let her be the furnace for the new town hall. A furnace is a machine that heats a building up, makes it nice and warm in the winter and when it's cold outside. Let her be the furnace for the new town hall. And let Mike Mulligan be the janitor. Then you wouldn't have to buy a new furnace, and we could pay Mike Mulligan for digging the cellar in just one day. What a good idea. Mary Ann can be the furnace, and Mike Mulligan can work to clean the building. "Why not?" said Henry B. Swap, and he smiled in a way that was not quite so mean. "Why not?" said Mrs. McGillicuddy. "Why not?" said the town constable. "Why not?" said all the people. So they found a ladder and climbed down into the cellar to ask Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann. "Why not?" said Mike Mulligan. So it was decided, and everyone was happy. They built the new town hall right over Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann. You can look inside that building and see them in there. It was finished before winter. Every day the little boy goes out to see Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann, and Mrs. McGillicuddy takes him nice hot apple pies. As for Henry B. Swap, he spends most of the time in the cellar of the new town hall, listening to the stories that Mike Mulligan has to tell, and smiling in a way that isn't mean at all. That's the new town hall. Mike Mulligan's down in the cellar, or Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann are down in the cellar. Now, when you go to Popperville, be sure to go down into the cellar of the new town hall. There they'll be, Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann, Mike in his rocking chair, smoking his pipe, and Mary Ann beside him, warming up the meetings in the new town hall. Aw. All right. Well, thanks for listening to that long story. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.